The first thing to bear in mind, if my pointer's working, pointer works. The first thing to bear in mind is that the word highway is a generic term, and it covers a whole host of different categories of highway, classes of highway. So we've got carriageways, which are open to all traffic, and we sometimes call them all-purpose highways. We've got footpaths, which, as the name suggests, are for pedestrian traffic only. We've got bridleways, and as the name suggests, that's open for horses, but it's also open for pedestrians and cyclists. Then we have footways. Now, there is a difference between a footway and a footpath in the sense that a footway is a pedestrian way which is adjacent to a carriageway. The Americans call them sidewalks. We call them footways. So I say that's the pavement that's adjacent to a carriageway. A footpath is something that goes off away from carriageways and is a road unto itself, as it were. Then we have what we call public rights of way, which is what we're talking about today. So public rights of way, footpaths and bridleways, restricted byways, byways open to all traffic, and that typically, that's when we say public rights of way, that's what we are talking about. Now, there has been the government, or rather DEFRA to be more precise, has a habit of fiddling around, making piecemeal adjustments to these things. And so far as the boat designation is concerned, I'll talk about the definitive map and statement in a moment, but you will find that a number of definitive maps still have boats on them. The position there is that boats cannot be registered after 2006 on the definitive map. If a boat right was existing before that date, then it will be retained on a definitive map. But as I say, and the threshold date there was the 2nd of May 2006. And the reason for that is basically these huge 4x4s churning up the countryside, and the government trying to draw a line through it and saying, well, a byway open to all traffic means that you can drive over it with a 4x4. We're trying to limit that. So, as I say, new boats cannot be registered if they were created or if they came into existence after 2006. Then we've got restricted byways. Well, that came in to try and replace boats to some extent, and that's a right of way for foot and horse traffic and non-mechanically propelled vehicles. A non-mechanically propelled vehicle includes an electric bicycle, you'll be pleased to know. And in certain circumstances, vehicles are allowed to drive over a restricted byway, but they have to be given exceptional rights to do so. So I say restricted byways and byways to all traffic have been problematic from day one. By day one, I mean literally, the best part 70 years ago.